Describing my childhood, I would say we were pretty much a normal family. We did everything together, such as picnics, family outings, going to church, going on family vacations. And we did a lot of stuff at church. We were involved in the church programs that they provided, either doing after church functions or festivals, and also participating within the church community families.
In 1994, my cousin was murdered at the hands of her husband, a victim of domestic violence. When my cousin first, we had word that she had died, we weren't really sure of what the circumstances were. It wasn't until, a few weeks later that we really found out that she had died because of her husband brutally beating her. And there were trials, there were hearings, and it took a long, long time for the court process and the judicial system to find out the real truth.
Going back to that present day, I didn't have any information. I didn't know what happened or what was going on. I believe she slipped in the bathtub and hit her head and went under.
Approximately 6 years ago, my husband and I became associated with Domestic Violence Center of Chester County, primarily in the fundraising department. It takes over $100,000 a month for us to take care of the 3,000 sufferers of domestic violence in Chester County. We provide housing, medical assistance, legal assistance, and counseling. We need to bring together the community to recognize the importance and the mission of domestic violence. It affects everyone.
From the moment that we lost our mother, it started the grieving process. And with being really young, really the grieving process was really not knowing, because you were always looking for her to be there, and you didn't really quite understand what that meant. Obviously she wasn't there, but you didn't understand why or how. It was you were still in, I guess, a state of shock, which would go into the grieving process. Some of the adjustments that we went through were having multiple people fill in that mother role, such as grandparents or other family members, such as helping us with homework or picking us up from school, making us dinner, and doing all the motherly type things. Our father obviously was involved with it, but having 3 younger kids is a tough job on anyone. So there was help from a lot of people to help us get through it. Some of the other adjustments we made was having our grandparents come down from Pennsylvania to help out with the situation, to do some other duties, and they spent 3 or 4 months with us. And after that time period, they had their own house and their own responsibilities to take care of. And there was a decision made that we would move up to Pennsylvania and stay with them until we got on our feet, and we had a little bit more guidance than just our father, who also had to take on a job or work to get us, the rest of the family, through.
Well, back in 1994, I really wasn't aware that there was such a thing as a domestic violence center. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of people that are there 24/7 for those in need. They have a hotline where they answer calls. They have a very, very involved staff of legal representatives, physicians, and counselors that help out. The children that suffer through that situation, it takes an awful lot of support and counseling for them to get over the nightmare. If the person survives the attack, they still need counseling, not to be afraid, to trust someone again, to learn how to be giving and loving and take care of one another.
When my father remarried, we became a family again, because you inserted the mother figure again, and it kind of turned not a bad life or a bad situation, but it just became, the family became whole again, meaning that you had the mother, father, and then the 3 kids. And it seemed like it was going really well. We all got together, and she treated us just like her own kids, and we treated her just like she was a real mother. I think after going through both deaths and losing both parents, it was kind of where do we stand now, or what happens now, since we lost both mothers, and then also for a little bit, you were unsure of what the story was and what happened, and why it happened again. And would we ever be normal again?
It's primarily, I'm driven by keeping her memory alive, by keeping her spirit and her purpose that she had as a wife, as a mother, and a son and a daughter, to be to keep her. We all have primarily 3 wishes in life, and one of them is to be remembered when we die, and that is really what I want to do.
Going through the situation, the relationship that I have with my brother and sister has gotten stronger through the years, because we remained together, and that's what we've stated since day one. Relationships with other friends and with other friends has been difficult, because you don't know who to trust or what that relationship is going to end with. I have a hard time opening up to other individuals, because I always like to keep stuff close to myself from the situation, which has been an issue in prior relationships, just getting to know people. So it takes a while to open up to others and to let them in on me, even though everybody else is warm and fuzzy and able to open up to myself. One of the examples of the relationship issues I've had, you can see right with my wife, and I believe it was date number 4 is when I told her of the situation. And sometimes it makes or breaks a relationship in the past for me. So we went on a couple dates, and date number 4 is when I decided to have the conversation with her and describe my family situation and what I've gone through in the past, and just to see how she would feel about it and what her views were on it. And obviously if she didn't care for it or didn't like how it had turned out, then it was still very early in a relationship that it wouldn't hurt either one of us. And then obviously if she took a positive to it and liked it, and or it didn't really put too much impact on our relationship, and we continued on.
I've had more people in the last month tell me they needed help or knew of someone that needed help, and I pass along the information to them so that they can get a an escape route if they need one, to help them plan on how to leave that situation, to leave with themselves intact, with their children intact, to have a safe place to go and still stay here in Chester County among their friends, among their family. Because we can't do it alone. They don't have people sometimes to depend on other than our organization.